Okay, I'm Thomas Harman, and I'm doing my project over punishment for cheating in the Olympic Games. Part 1. In ancient Greece, the Olympic Games were very important. Cheating back then was considered to be a sin. If you were caught cheating, you'd be fined very severely, or your town would be fined very severely. And cheating in the Summer Games was not uncommon, and athletes used to rub themselves with oil to protect their skin from dirt and sunlight. The wrestlers were not allowed to use oil. They were supposed to dust themselves with some kind of powder, but some wrestlers cheated by rubbing oil over some part of the body, making it slippery for an opponent to grab them, which happened a lot according to the different websites. Part 2. With the money that was fined to you or your city, it was used to make a statue of Zeus. And the statues would be made of bronze, and every statue looked the same. So pretty much there's just a lot of statues lined up next to each other that all look the same, and they're all of Zeus. And at the bottom of each statue, they would have your name and city, and what you did for, like, how you cheated, so everyone would know that you were a cheater, that you came from, like, Sparta or Athens, and how you cheated. So you were very popular, but not in a good way. Part 3. After the statue was made, you were disqualified from the games and sent home, so pretty much you're just probably done forever. In some cases, your city would be disqualified too from the event, or even like multiple events. Depends on how bad your cheating was. And in some cases, you would also, instead of being fined, you would be whipped, which was that's what happened a lot back then. And also, when you got home, your city would all know that you cheated, and once again, you'd become very popular, but not in a good way. Everyone would hate you, and even some people would try and kill you because you dishonored the city and made everyone look bad, which was not good. And part 4. Even after you died, your family would still probably be shamed by other people, so I guess you wouldn't have to worry about it, especially if you were killed after you got home, but you pretty much make your family suffer. And because just everyone, you'd probably be neglected by other people, you wouldn't have any friends, you'd pretty much just live by yourself, you wouldn't talk to anybody except your own family. And probably your family would probably hate you also if you didn't get killed, because you dishonored them, made them look bad, and ruined quite a bit of their lives also. Sometimes when you cheated, or I guess I don't. That's the end of my slideshow, but I'm not done talking. Sometimes when you cheated, if you cheated very, like, it was very major, you'd be fined more, and there'd be more than one statue made for you, and it'd all be the same. The names on the bottom and stuff would all be the same. It'd all say the same thing. It just showed people that whatever you did was very bad, and show that you're a horrible, horrible person, and that you would never be able to be in the Olympic Games. Your trainer would never be able to be in the Olympic Games, and probably none of your family members would be able to be in the Olympic Games also. Okay, and now here's Adam Emerson.
My name is Adam Emerson, and I'm talking about the types of Olympic Games. Uh, one of the Olympic Games was boxing, fought until one was knocked out or admitted to defeat. Boxing had no rounds. Uh, there was no rule in boxing against hitting an opponent when he was down. Pankration was similar to wrestling and boxing. Combatants were allowed to punch, but biting and gouging an opponent's eyes, nose, or mouth with fingernails was not allowed. Using oil on the body was illegal because it would make it an unfair advantage for the opponent to grab you. Wrestling was another event in the Olympic Games. This event was similar to the modern sport with 3 successful throws necessary to win a match. An athlete in Olympic Games needed to throw his opponent on the ground landing on a hip, shoulder, or back for a fair fall. Biting and genital holds were illegal. Running. There were 4 types of races at Olympia. The oldest event is the stadium, in which the runners sprinted over the distance of 1 stade, which is the length of the ancient stadium in Olympic Games. They also raced over 2 stade races, 384 meters, and a long-distance run which ranged from 7 to 24 stades, 1,344 meters to 4,680 meters. There was no marathon race as this was made for the modern Olympics. They did, however, have a grueling event held over 2 to 4 days, with the competitors wearing armor. Pentathlon. This event involved a combination of 5 separate disciplines: discus, javelin, jumping, running, and wrestling. The running and wrestling events were as described above. The discus was similar to the modern event with the implement made from stone, iron, bronze, or lead. The javelin event was also similar to the modern event, though the javelin was made of wood and had a thong for attaching the thrower's fingers. In the jumping event, the participants held onto lead or stone jump weights called halters, which were thrown backwards during the jump to propel them forward and increase the length of their jump. Equestrian events. There were both chariot racing and riding events. The chariot races were held over 12 laps of the stadium, about 9 miles, and included both 2-horse and 4-horse races. A race for chariots drawn by foals and mules in the riding events. In the riding events held over 6 laps around the track, about 4.5 miles, the jockeys rode bareback. There were separate races for adult horses and foals. That's the end, but I'm not done talking. In boxing, they it was pretty much just like now, but the gloves they had wire wrapping that went around the hands that way they wouldn't break their knuckles, and it would keep the bones in place so that way they wouldn't pop out. In pankration, it was similar, but they didn't use the gloves. It was pretty much just they didn't wear anything. They were naked, and they would wrestle, and it was like boxing and wrestling combined. In wrestling, which pretty much like pankration except a little bit different, it was really similar to the modern sport, but it was back then, and it was a little bit more brutal. They didn't do everything they do nowadays. Uh, Running's pretty much the same as now. A little different because we don't do it in a stadium. We do it in Pentathlon was pretty much just like where they did everything combined. It was like just doing everything, most of the modern stuff we do today. The equestrian events we don't really have now, but we do have like bareback riding and stuff that's close to it, but we don't do chariot races like not like that anymore. Thank you for watching.
Oh, and Mr. Kelly, you're the best teacher ever. So yeah.
And I agree.